Well, hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. Well, on today's video, we are looking at the reaction in and around the club after we failed again to get all 3 points over the weekend. We are also going to talk about the players who we are going to be missing through injury, which I should say it's starting to become worrisome if you consider the fact that up to this far into the season, we haven't found a starting lineup, and losing more players to injury doesn't help us in that situation. Well, if you are enjoying the content, please remember to subscribe and turn on your post notification bell so that you never miss any future uploads on the channel. Also, please give this video a like. I would much appreciate it as it helps the channel to grow and reach more Khosi fans out there. Well, with that said, it is time to talk AmakhosiTalks. Guys, over the weekend, we faced Marumo Gallants in the DStv Premiership in what was our 5th game of the season. Now, despite coming off another bad game, we really had high hopes that this was the game that would potentially turn our fortunes around in the season. Looking at where Gallants are in the league table, you would have thought that we were going to go for it. On paper, we have the quality and experience needed to get us through, but our thoughts and hopes couldn't be further from reality because at full time the score was goalless for either side. Now, of course, some people may look at it as an improvement that we kept a clean sheet after conceding 4 goals in the match prior to Gallants. Others, however, we cannot accept it. Now, again, guys, we know that the DStv Premiership is a very competitive league and there are never any easy matches. But what is worrying and putting so much anger to a lot of fans is the fact that on the day, only one team really looked like scoring, and that team is Marumo Gallants. Time and time again, we were saved by our keeper and the post. A very impressive performance from Daniel Akpeyi. And if it wasn't for him, we would be talking about another humiliation. Looking at the match itself, in the first half, it seemed as though we were not sure what we were doing. Up front, we were without Nurkovic, who was out through injury, and we are going to talk about those injuries and absentees that have hit us. Ngobo and Manyama were operating in that center forward and cam position. Now, personally, I felt that was where our attack was lacking. In fact, more than lack, it was the confusion. At times, you found that Ngobo was the one who was roaming in that center forward position. Now, again, for me, I don't think that is where you would want to get the best out of Ngobo. Whenever the ball came to him, he was always having 2 players on him. You want Ngobo to be in and around the central midfield position, pushing up with the ball and not with him playing against his back. For the entirety of that first half, we never really threatened the opposition goal. In the second half, the coach did make a change, taking out Manyama for Bernard Parker, who I was surprised to see that he was able to play despite that report on a broken bone in his arm. But nonetheless, he did come on. Now, to my disappointment, I thought him coming on meant that he was going to play as our number 9. But that wasn't the case. He was operating more on the new role that we have seen him operate in recent times. And that meant we were still playing Ngobo higher up on the pitch. Although it was an improved second half, it was nowhere near a match-winning performance. To say the least, that's been the frustration in the team since the start of the season. We seem to play only in patches and we are never at our full potential and dominating the opponent. Now, of course, I do understand that there were some forced changes and that meant again we had to play a few players out of their natural positions. At the end of it all, it's safe to say we were lucky to get away with a point. Now, moving on to one of the reasons that we had to play a few players out of their positions. An injury update was issued on the club's official website, which I should also say it was a very late update. Nurkovic is set to undergo surgery on his right knee, and according to the coach, this is an injury that the player has carried from last season. In terms of how long he will be out for, the team is still waiting for a timeline from the medical team, pending the operation. Now, looking at the nature of the injury, it usually takes about 5 to 8 weeks for a full recovery. It will be interesting to hear what the doctors say, considering that this is a knee problem that seems to not go away for Sami Nurkovic. Zuma Nange is another player who we have lost to injury. Unlike Nurkovic, we have been given a 2-week layoff for Nange, and I think that is good news, seeing that we are heading towards the FIFA break, so there won't be that many matches that Nange will miss. Sekgota is another player who is on the sidelines and was still to be given the timeline in terms of his recovery. Other long-term injuries include Leonardo Castro, who has now started to run. Ngezana is in his final stages of rehabilitation and is expected to be back to full training somewhere in the middle of October. Dumisani Zuma is another player who is in the rehab phase owing to a knee injury, which again, like Nurkovic, this is a problem that doesn't seem to go away. Now, just to add, for our next game, we will be without the services of Sifiso Tlanti, who received a red card against Marumo Gallants. Now, things don't seem to get any easier for us, as next on the fixture list, we take on high-flying Amazulu, coached by Benny McCarthy. But we can go into that match knowing that the FIFA break is upon us, and we will get time to fix some of the problems that we've been having in recent games. In other matches to look out for, the MTN 8 semi-finals take center stage, and to kick it off tonight, Mamelodi Sundowns welcome Golden Arrows at the Lucas Masterpieces Morepe Stadium. Tomorrow, Swallows play host to Cape Town City at the Dobsonville Stadium. And there it is, guys. That is where we find ourselves after 5 rounds of the new season. And on Saturday, we have another opportunity to try and climb our way out of that lower half on the table. Join me on Friday as we will be doing the preview of that match against Amazulu. Remember to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next upload. Inkosi, aliphele umoya.